Do you want to know how to get kids to listen the first time? I'm serious, it's possible. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, child development, and education, all through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about getting them to listen the first time. Are you tired of repeating yourself over and over again? That's called nagging. Do you think to yourself, if they only listened the first time, life would be so much better? Well, then this is the video for you. In this video, we're going to talk about why they don't listen the first time, and then we're going to talk about a 3-step process that you can utilize that will help them self-govern themselves better and choose to listen the first time. We first need to talk about nagging. Why do we nag? Well, it's because we actually don't want to correct yet. We're trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, or maybe we're trying to see if this whole process of us giving them an instruction and then following through could actually happen. But guess what they're waiting for? They're waiting until you're done with all the nagging, until you're almost at that point where you're going to lose it, then they'll do it. Or maybe you even do lose a little bit of control. You choose not to be calm and then they do it. When you nag again and again, you are training them to wait for your nagging before they follow through. So don't forget that. They need to know that they can follow through the first time without all of the nagging. This means that we have to follow through the first time as well. So often the parent doesn't want to do the follow through, and then they wonder why the child doesn't follow through the first time. We create the structure. We're going to talk about how to create this 3-step structure, which I think will be really game changer for so many people dealing with this problem. I do want to just also let you know, though, that sometimes they don't listen to you because they're power struggling with you, because they have an attitude. Maybe they're not understanding their role or your role, and this is why they're waiting until the last minute. So we've got to tighten things up. We've got to get a little bit more laser focused. They need the boundaries to be put in place. You are tolerating too much. Your tolerances are too high. And if our tolerances are too high, we don't teach self-government. They don't learn self-government. We have to lower the tolerances in order to self-assess and be able to learn self-government. So let's talk about this 3-step process. The 3-step process is to teach, and then to do, and then to praise. Let's talk about the teach step. When I say teach, I really mean pre-teach. So let's be very clear, before the first pre-teaching moment when you really need a certain behavior to happen, hopefully you've pre-taught way ahead of time what type of skills that your child is going to need for success. If you have subscribed to this channel already, then you know I teach lots of skills of self-government here. Skills like how to follow instructions, how to accept no answers and criticism, how to accept consequences, and how to disagree appropriately. Those are just 4 basic skills of the self-government skills that a person needs for success. So if you've pre-taught those skills ahead of time, then right in the moment when you need a child to use a certain skill, let's say it's the child's bedtime, and it's time for them to go to bed. Then you pre-teach ahead of time that they need to follow instructions now. And you do a full pre-teaching interaction, which includes 6 steps that will help them prepare to follow the instruction when it occurs. Bedtime is probably like the worst for so many homes. They say, hey, it's time for bed, and the children are like, and they still go and jump on the couch and do something else. They get into the bed, they get out of the bed, they don't do the teeth, they don't do a part of it, and so it's like chasing people around the house, trying to corral them into their bedrooms and into their beds, and a lot of parents get really worn out. First off, don't allow yourself to get worn out. You have to tell yourself, this is just part of parenting. We got to train them. They'll get this. You have to trust that it can happen. If you start thinking they're not going to be able to get it, then actually it will be a long time before they actually get it. So I would recommend pre-teaching way ahead of time. There's a little game, and I talk about this game in my 3-day parenting training. It's called a Parenting Mastery Training. You can find more about that training on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com. But there's a little game that we played with my children when they were little, when I was teaching them the skill for how to go to bed, and the game was called It's Time for Bed. So first, during that game, I taught them basically how to follow instructions when it was time for bed. Now, they already knew the skill for following instructions. I start teaching that when they're very young, but then we follow it up with using this game that helps them understand, okay, this is how I go to bed and when I use my following instructions skill. Then we have a positive consequence that we establish for if they do use their skill that we practiced in the game. And if not, then I talk to them about how we will correct that. So they know exactly how I will correct them ahead of time, what negative consequences they will earn, and everything. It's all predetermined. This is the teach part. So now let's say it's bedtime. So now I just do a quick pre-teach. Right now I'm going to give you an instruction. Do you remember how to follow an instruction? And they might look at me and say, yes. You look at the person, keep a calm face, voice, and body, say okay, or ask to disagree appropriately, do the task immediately, and then check back. So now I'm going to praise them for telling me those steps. I know they're ready. Then I'm going to say, okay, if you choose to follow the instruction, then here's the positive, which is probably something that we're working toward as far as a family motivation or something for following instructions. Then I'll say, if you choose not to follow the instruction, then here's the negative. I'll give you an opportunity to earn an extra chore, and we'll do a correction for that. And then I say, here's your instruction. I need you to go get in your bed, okay? They should look at me, keep a calm face, voice, and body, say, okay, run to their bed, and then say, I'm in my bed. Is there anything else? So that's them checking back at the end. So that's the second step. That's the do. They will never get to the do. So we've done the teach, the do. They'll never get to the do if they don't know how to follow instructions. And if you don't practice it enough times in enough different circumstances where they see following instructions as completely normal and healthy. So they run, they do it because they've got the skill. Step number 3 is the praise. So now I'm going to go into the room and I'm going to praise them. There are 3 great steps to a good praise. The steps are what, why, wow. You explain what they did, why it was such a good thing, and then give them a wow statement like, you are really great at this, or that was super mature, high five. What, why, wow makes a great praise. You should praise your children 6 to 10 times for every 1 time that you correct them. If you keep that ratio, the corrections shouldn't seem like they're so rough. Also, you can have the same tone during your correction as you did during your pre-teaching or teaching moment. It should feel completely safe. Your children should feel closer to you during and after a correction than they even did before. So let's talk about this calm tone. We absolutely need to master calmness within ourselves in order to know that we are self-governed. Is that an easy thing? Absolutely. And for some people, it's harder than others. It can sometimes take months or even years of work to get yourself to a real place of calmness. This is why we want to start teaching calmness to our children now. But that means that we need to start working on calmness ourselves too. Now, don't worry, you don't have to be fully calm before you try to teach your children calmness. But if you're working on it, that gives you enough credibility to teach them calmness as well. I would like to help you with that. In fact, I have a Calm Parenting Toolkit that you can have for free right now. If you go to my website, teachingselfgovernment.com, right on the homepage, there is a Calm Parenting Toolkit that is free right now. It has 10 tools for calmness. It's a mini course to help you get started on your self-government journey. It is not the full Teaching Self-Government Parenting course. That is a different thing on the website. You can take a look at that. That is the full 24 hours of training, and it will be a great thing to take after you do the Calm Parenting Toolkit so that you can learn all the skills that you need for success. Click on the link to the toolkit. I'll see you there.